So after the bullshit that was The Invitation, I went and saw 3,000 Years of Longing. That's a weird title, I know. Um, but this is a movie that honestly I only got a trailer for a couple times here and there, and it's one of those trailers when I first saw it, I was like, oh, so this is a new A24 movie because it looks like a stereotypical A24 indie weird indie movie that's about to come out, and I'm like, no, it's not being released by A24. I'm like, oh, that's weird, and then it says from the director George Miller, and I'm like, ooh, that's basically my response. Is like, ooh, like especially when I hear George Miller's name, since he hasn't made a movie since Mad Max Fury Road. It's like, oh yeah, it's nice to see him do something again. Yeah, he's if you don't know who he is for the uninformed, he is the guy who's most famous for making the Mad Max franchise. All three of them, or all four of them, and also Happy Feet and Babe. I have no idea how the fuck that works, but whatever. Like, yeah. It's like Bob Clark. It's about as weird as Bob Clark, the guy who directed Christmas Story, also directed Black Christmas and Porky's. Like, the fuck? Like, I appreciate directors like that because they try to do different stuff. They don't always try to make the same fucking thing. I appreciate the fuck. I think that's why I like Tarantino the most. So I'm like, I'm excited. I hear, and they got Tilda Swinton, Idris Elba, two great fucking actors, and this like adult version of what looks like an adult version of Aladdin. All right, I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I'm on board. Yeah, George Miller and all star cast. Fuck it, this should be good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot better than The Invitation. And that's a fucking high praise, but I don't know if that's probably a low praise, but it is a good movie, a very good movie. It's not perfect, but it's good. uh, I did like it. I liked it's a movie. Really, the whole movie really is. I don't know how many people know this, but it's mostly a two-person show for the most part, or it's just Idris Elba and um, God damn, what is her name? What the fuck? Why is her name blanking on me? Fucking damn it! It's just said her name too. Tilda Swinton, thank you. For all Tilda Swinton fans, I'm sorry. I love her as an actress, but got these. It's mostly the two of them, and it's Idris Elba telling his backstory, like the story of his pretty much his life as a jinn, who he's been banished to a lamp or a uh, bottle 3 different times, and he tells a story, the story of each time he was banished to and why it happened, and they're all like precautionary tales, and they're kind of like fairy tale, you know, precautionary tales that you would see in some like grim fairy tales, but with sex and some really weird shit. Um, more grown up shit that you expected in a Grimm's fairy tale. You don't see in a Grimm's fairy tale, but it's interesting. You know, like I said, it's like the stories are really interesting. I liked all of them. They all had their own kind of interesting moral. What was going on in the movie to fit with what was going on with the movie at the time. Tilda Swinton's like this woman who's obsessed with like these mythologies that we create and stuff like that, and that's how she comes across this genie by accident, and he wants to grant her free wishes, but she doesn't really believe in him as a genie or whatever. So that's why it comes to him telling her all these stories about what happened to him in his you know previously in his life, and yada yada yada. And that's pretty much the majority of the fucking movie. It's like it's it's a solid like I was invested. I'm like, okay, I'm interested where this is going because how what the end game of this movie is, and I pretty much should have figured out what the fucking end game of this movie was. It's not freaking hard to figure out. Like you know what what the resolution was going to be, and like I said, it was like I said, it's a fun, perfectly fine little movie. except for two things. One, the CGI. There's some questionable CGI in this fucking movie. There's a little bit of questionable CGI. There's a few scenes, especially one in particular, that I don't notice this shit. I don't go out of my way to like notice this shit. Like usually it flies by me until somebody points it out to me, and then I notice it. There's like scenes where like you can tell Tilda Swinton is not in the same room as or is being CGI into a room or something. There's a scene where she's looking directly at the camera. I'm like, she's not in that room. It's obvious. Like from the outline, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. I can't be the only one. And there's some dodgy CGI here and there. It's just kind of disappointing coming from a guy who made Mad Max Fury Road, which he used a lot of practical fucking effects and practical explosions and all that shit like that. I was like, but it also is from a guy who made Babe, who was that was fucking stellar and ahead of its time. Yeah, like the CGI, like I said, it was not all terrible, but there was some here and there. It's like pretty noticeable, and I was like, they were like distracting a little bit. But the one thing I didn't care for very much was the non-ending ending. If that makes any sense. I swear to God, this movie had more endings than The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Like seriously, like this movie could have ended like probably an hour and 25 minutes, but it goes on for another 25. And man, oh man, doesn't not need to go fucking another 25. It just keeps going and going and going. I'm like, come on, movie. I want to go home. It's like, it gets to the point you're like, I want to go home. Can you just end now? We got the gist of what's going on, like what the moral of the story, what's going on. Yeah. Just come on, I want to go home. It's like it gets to a point, like, and man, at one point in the movie, and towards the end, it cuts to black. You're like, all right, this movie's over, and then it just says 3 months later. I yelled, "Fuck you!" like I was like, no. God damn it. Like, I was like, at that point, I was irritated. Like, fuck you, movie. Fuck you. But, it did end eventually after that. Quite quickly after that, thank God. But, yeah. I liked the movie. I did. I like it. It's a fun sit. It's not for everybody. It's not gonna be for everybody. If you're a fan of George Miller, go check it out. Like I said, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to see it. Like, you also have two great powerhouse actors like Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba who carry the fucking movie. You can carry any fucking movie with just their acting ability, and they do in this one. So yeah, that's as far as 3,000 Years of Longing. I forgot the fucking title for a second. Yeah, I guess I recommend it. Next week, next week, the only thing we're getting I see so far is Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, or something like. That's a fucking great title, by the way. That's a funny ass title. Honk for Jesus. I just want to go up and say, one for Honk for Jesus. Now they have a ticket kiosk now, so I don't have to fucking do that. But I want to maybe I'll just not use the kiosk next week, so I can just say, Honk for Jesus. I don't know. Yeah, there's only a few movies next month I'm looking forward to. Like I said, it's just depressing, man. They're not giving the studios are not giving theaters many options of like to excite people to come to the theaters, and that fucking sucks, dude. Like, damn it, man. But it is what it is. Oh, I did see like we're getting like fucking Jaws 3D in 3D. Why? Like the original Jaws, not Jaws 3D. We're getting Jaws 3D, and then also we're getting Dawn of the Dead 3D. Like what? Like I can I just watch the original Dawn of the Dead without the 3D, please? Like I just rather watch the original in the theater. That'd be cool. The original Jaws in the theater, but no, I guess I gotta fucking watch it in 3D because fuck you, I guess. Because 3D is not gonna die, I guess. All right. That's as far as the movies go. I'll be back next week, and I'll talk to you guys later.